What's up guys, welcome back to the Lil Maguizy channel. Today we're going to take a look at a group of people. That's it. Let's do it, shall we? The Avengers, or in the UK, my area, call it Avengers Assemble, but I just call it the Avengers because I just do. Yeah. Starring Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark, so that's Iron Man, Chris Evans as Steve Rogers / Captain America, Chris Hemsworth as Thor, not Edward Norton as Bruce Banner the Hulk. His name's Mark Ruffalo this time. Scarlett Johansson as Natasha Romanoff / Black Widow. Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye. Tom Hiddleston as Loki. And Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury. That's a lot of people, wow. Basically, moral of the story is Loki from, the first Thor one, that one there. He basically jumps down this portal to Earth. Then he possesses Hawkeye and a couple of other people. And then, they walk off. And then Nick Fury's decides to assemble a team. And then he gets Black Widow to look for Bruce Banner. And then Mr. Phil Coulson guy, he goes to look for Stark. Nick Fury goes to look for Rogers. That's it, pretty much. So basically, Black Widow goes to Bruce and he's like, I don't want to be in a cage, bro. I don't want to be in a cage. And then, Bruce eventually joins. Okay. And then Stark joins. Well, he joins basically because he looks at the slideshow of the three people, and then that's when he joins. And then going back to the after credit scene from the first Avenger, we go back to that. And then Captain America joins, and boom, that's that. So basically they all go on this helicarrier thing, and then that's that. And then it turns out that Loki's around, so Steve Rogers gets his Captain America gear on. And then he goes and fights Loki, and then Iron Man swoops in, flies in, and then boom. And then they take him on to the jet, and then lightning comes out from the sky, and then Thor comes and takes Loki and tells him where the Tesseract is and give it up. And then Iron Man comes and attacks Thor, and they have a wee scrap, and then Captain America breaks it up, and then Thor tries to hit his shield with the hammer, then makes a shockwave, and they stop scrapping and become mates, I guess. Yeah. Loki gets captured. And that's that. So then he talks to Black Widow about the fact that, he's only using Hawkeye to kill people, and then after that's done, he's gonna murder him. And turns out that he wants to unleash the Hulk, so that's fun, I guess. So then for some reason they all start arguing. I don't know why, they just start arguing. And then Hawkeye comes and shoots an arrow and explodes the helicarrier. Then they get scarred everywhere. Bruce turns into the Hulk, and then he chases Black Widow. And then Thor comes along and beats the hell out of him. Not really. And then, Thor and Hulk, they have a wee scrap. And then some guy tries to shoots Hulk. And then Hulk tries to get the person, and Hulk falls somewhere. Then Iron Man repairs the ship, and Phil Coulson dies because Thor was in the cage. Turns out Loki was planning to be captured in the first place. Okay? And then, they're like, should we do this? And then they get together. Black Widow fights Hawkeye. Hawkeye is back to being normal. They go to Black Widow, Hawkeye, Captain America, Iron Man. They go to New York. And then Thor comes and joins them. And then Bruce rides down with a motorcycle. And then, looks up and he's like, what the hell's going on? And then Captain America's like, now might be a really good time for you to get angry. And then Bruce is like, oh, I'm always angry. And then Hulk unleashes. And then this iconic circle with Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Hulk, Black Widow, Hawkeye all together for the first time in live action, at least. Yeah. Then they eventually stop the Jatari, that's what the army's called. And then Iron Man takes a nuke up to space because the government decided to nuke New York City. Don't know why, he just did. And then he decided to nuke New York, decides to nuke it, and then he passes out and then falls. And then Hulk grabs him. But before Hulk grabs him, he beats the hell out of Loki. And then Hulk grabs him. Hulk wakes him up by roaring at him. And then they all live happily ever after. But then they have to get Loki and capture him and take him back to Asgard. Yeah, then they all go their separate ways. That's it. After credit scene time. It's in space, and a giant purple monster just looks at the camera like, wonder what that could be setting up. You never know. Also, the credits is like a statue of all of them, or no, it's like this, figure of them or some sort. I don't know. Yeah. Overall thoughts. It's a 7-ish out of 10. I rarely watched that one. Don't know. I rarely watched these earlier ones. I don't know why. Yeah. And that's the end of Chapter 1 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Join us next time whenever we take a look at Chapter 2 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is about a guy in a metal suit having PTSD. Goodbye.